Holy shit! I did not plan to review this movie, but after renting it from my local corner store and watching it, I felt I had to, because anyone with a love of ultra-violence, with a love of really stylish visual effects, and a whole lot of ultra-violence should definitely check this out. This is a review for, if you didn't check the title, Punisher Warzone. I did not catch this in theaters because I didn't think I'd be a Punisher fan, but fuck this. After this, I'm gonna go pick up some of those Garth Ennis comics in the omnibus, and I'm gonna read that shit through. Maybe I'll wait a couple weeks till school's done, but definitely something to pick up, because if it's anything like this movie, it's gonna kick ass. You know what? A lot of critics, a lot of people approach this movie thinking it's gonna be The Dark Knight, or, it's gonna be deep and psychologically complex, or Iron Man, where it's gonna be, a smart movie or whatever. No, this is fucking Punisher. And you know what the Punisher does? He kills people. And he kills people straight. Now, I don't want to give away this film, but I will say within the first 5-10 minutes, he's probably killed at least 40 people. No jokes. And it continues at that pace throughout the rest of the movie, with a few exceptions. I'm not even really going to talk about a whole lot of the negatives of this film, because there just wasn't that many. My only real complaints, I suppose, it slowed down a little in the middle, and the final death for the bad guy, Jigsaw, and I'm not spoiling anything for Christ's sakes, of course he kills him, was not as good as some of the other ones, which is kind of disappointing considering he's the main bad guy. You think he'd get it most, but regardless, the rest of this film makes up for it. Honestly, by the end of the film, I'm pretty sure he's killed every criminal in New York. Yeah. And actually, I think it says something along those lines right at the end of the movie. It says, you've basically killed every criminal in New York. Just ponder that for a minute. Ponder the implications of that comment. How many people he would have to kill during the course of this movie? People get chairs through the eyes, old women get their heads blown off, you get people shot with rocket launchers, shotguns point blank range. He punches someone through the head. He punches them through the head. His fist hits their face and goes through their head. He didn't have anything on his hands. This is just his fists. Now, if Elvis seems ridiculous, it is. Like I said before, fans of shoot 'em up are definitely going to love this movie. It is an action parody. Everything is so gloriously over the top and violent that you can't help but admire it in that fashion if you like that type of movie. If you do, if you like action movies from the 80s, and you like violence, and you thought to yourself when watching these action movies from the 80s, you know what would make these better? If he really fucking killed those guys. Like, not if he sent them to jail, if he just shot them once. What if he, shot them, in the kneecaps, and then shot them again, and then shot their head off? That's about what you get with this movie. Every single villain, every single time someone dies, you're just like, fuck yeah, the Punisher. Punisher Warzone, I really can't say, I can't stop myself from emphatically praising this movie, because, you know what, this movie did terrible in theaters. It's probably going to do pretty decently on DVD, but I don't think it's really going to get a following, and it's probably going to necessitate a reboot another 10 years down the road. But you know what? If people don't like this movie, you know what? Maybe it doesn't need a reboot. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with the comic character so much. Going to be after this, but I don't know if this is a particularly amazingly faithful adaptation. I'm going to say probably not. Although I do again read the Garth Ennis comics are quite like this and over the top. But regardless, if people don't like this movie, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve a sequel. Just let us see it, to people who appreciate it. I'm not saying this is cinematic gold or anything, but as a B-action, or gory B-action movie, this is about the best you can get. Basically starts out within the first 3 minutes of a massive action scene, and it slows down only for a couple minutes there, and just goes at a really good pace throughout, I thought. Getting more technical aspects, I guess I gotta do this. I don't wanna seem too silly. The Ray Stevenson, the main actor, plays the Punisher. Really nice stone cold figure where you really feel that he's just an immovable wall, a force of nature, which he definitely portrays throughout the movie. Most of the acting is pretty decent. Keep in mind that this is a B movie. The person who plays Jigsaw, Dominic West, does a good job for what it is. Again, all ridiculously over the top. The only one that's even half pretending in this movie is Ray Stevenson, and in that he does a good job. Ironically, Newman from Seinfeld, can't remember his name, who plays Micro, who is the Punisher's gun supplier, virtually, actually does a pretty decent job. he's never gonna be removed from my mind as Newman or that scientist dude from the original Jurassic Park. But, I had no complaints about him. On the effects side, I actually thought it was pretty well done. The movie was only made for $35 million, which I know you're thinking to yourself, only $35 million. But for a movie like this, you go through a lot of physical and digital effects really, really fast. And like I said, it's quite amazing they actually did it. The lighting, as I was saying before, was extremely oversaturated. The comparison to the Batman and Robin Batman and Robin, Batman Forever is probably apt, not in quality, but in the way they are designed. They're very colorful. It's a very colorful movie. Each thing, ironically, has its own motifs. Crime is red, peace is blue, and green is city. It gets a little more complicated than that, but you get the idea. It's got different themes for each setting, instead of mood, which I actually quite like. It was kind of neat. Sound design, no complaints. There was a couple well-placed licensed tracks. I couldn't name the songs if you ask me, but it's like kind of hard rock or heavy metal. It really fit the tone of the movie. I'm not sure I'd listen to them outside of it, but as the movie went along and I was listening to that music, it really got me into the action scenes, which is what this movie is all about. If anyone is going into this expecting a deep plot, there is not a deep plot. There's a semblance of emotion and a quick setup, but it mostly just follows through from there with a bunch of string-together action scenes, which is perfectly fine with me. If you're not down for that, then you know what? I wouldn't even give this movie a chance. If you're even listening to this still, then you should probably see this movie. But, what else can I say? This is definitely a movie that you can watch with your buds, grab a few friends, and, buy some beer, go get drunk watching this movie, because this is a double feature. This movie will shoot 'em up. It's definitely one of those types of movies. I can't say I'm necessarily disappointed I didn't see it in theaters. Bombast would have been nice, but at the same time, it is a movie you watch with other people, and you draw enjoyment from that. Last thing I really wanted to mention was how laugh-out-loud hilarious this movie is, in a really black humor kind of way, of how imaginatively the people are killed. And like I said, I don't want to spoil this one moment, and I so want to for everyone, because I was laughing. I honestly couldn't see for about 30 seconds. I had to pause the movie and get it all out. It was just that fucking hilarious. Anyway, enough with the expletives. Punisher Warzone is definitely a gory or B-action movie for the ages, I would say. And if you like 80s action movies, if you like ultra-violence, and if you like action movies in general, you're going to get a kick out of this. It's not deep, doesn't pretend to be. That's not what it's all about. Is Punisher Warzone. I'd definitely give it a rental.